Hi Gandhi class, welcome to your third Talk for Writing lesson this week. And in this lesson, our learning objective is, can I plan my non-chronological report? So today we're going to plan the first part of our non-chronological report. Had we been at school, we would have done this plan over 2 days. So that's exactly what we're going to do, even if it is over YouTube. So we're going to be looking at planning our heading, the picture, the introduction paragraph, and the what does it look like paragraph. And we're going to plan this together. So what's going to happen is I'm going to show you how to do one of the sections, then you're going to pause the video, have a go at doing that section about your invention, then come back to my video and I'll show you the next section, then you do it, and so on. And that's what we're going to be doing in today's lesson and tomorrow's English lesson. Please, please, please keep this plan safe, as we'll be carrying on with it tomorrow and then using it again on Friday to help us when we write our non-chronological report. So it is really important that you are looking after this piece of paper. So this is what our overall plan will look like. You've got your name of the invention at the top, your introduction, the what does it look like, what does it do, more information, did you know, and the picture. So you've got your heading, your subheadings, and your picture or diagram. Now, because this is a plan, we're not writing in full sentences. This is probably one of the only times I will ever say in English that you do not have to write in a full sentence, because we are just making notes to help us. And then on Friday, I'm going to show you how to turn those notes into sentences. So today, as I said, we're just focusing on this part here, your heading, which is the name of your invention, and the two subheadings, introduction and what does it look like, and your picture. So at the top of your piece of paper, I want you to write the heading, and this is going to be the name of your invention. Now, because it's a heading, it must be underlined, and it must be underlined with a ruler. Let me show you how to do it in my book. Okay, so here is my book, and I'm going to write in my non-chronological report about the massaging mattress. So at the top, I'm going to write on that top line there, the massaging mattress. Now you may have noticed that I've started every word with a capital letter, and that's because it's a heading. So in your heading, you need to make sure that every word has a capital letter. Now we're going to use our ruler to underline it. When underlining with your ruler, as I said, keep your fingers spread out, because this will help you to keep it steady as you are drawing your line. And then also make sure that if you're writing on lined paper, which you should be for English, that the ruler lines up with that line. And then you can just draw your line, and that is your heading done. Please, can you pause the video here to have a go at writing your heading and drawing the line underneath. Okay, next we're going to draw a picture of our invention. Please don't spend too much time drawing this, as it's only a plan. Let me show you how I'm going to do it in my book. As I said, this is going to be really quick, really rough. It doesn't have to be perfect, because this is just a plan and it needs to be of your invention. So let me share my book with you again. Now, remembering our text map, we have our picture or our diagram on this side. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, from your heading, I'm going to ask you to count 1, 2, 3 lines down and do a dot. And then we are going to draw a box that is going to be 8 centimeters. So from the 0 here to 8, and make sure you're on the line. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And then 8 centimeters across and 8 lines going down. Okay, so you should have a box that looks like that, and then you are going to draw your final design in that picture. So I'm drawing my massaging mattress, and I'm going to very quickly draw it here. I'm not going to annotate it. It doesn't need to be labelled. So I'm just going to very quickly draw it in. Okay, so there we go. There is my massaging mattress, very, very quickly drawn in. As I said, it does not have to be perfect because this is just a plan. Now, please have a go at drawing your own invention. Please make sure it's very quick. As I said, it is just a plan. Pause the video here and then come back when you have done that. Okay, now we are going to look at the introduction. And as I said, this is just a plan, so we're just going to make some quick notes about it. Then we will turn these into sentences when we write it up in Neat on Friday. So in your introduction, I want you to include the subheading, an interesting sentence starter. Think of our lesson on Monday. Let's make sure we grab our reader's attention. You need to tell me who invented it, and then just a little piece of information about it. On the next page, I've got a word map from Monday to help us think of interesting sentence starters. So here we go. I've got the subject, where or when, question, ending in ly, ending in ing, ending in ed. So you can pick 2 of these if you want to, depending on how long your introduction is going to be, and use this to help you. I'm going to show you how I want it to look in your book. So let's go to my book. Okay, so we're going to be starting with our introduction. Now, you need to write the subheading first. So I'm going to start on the same line that I drew my picture on. And remember, if you've got a margin, please make sure you start by the margin. So starting with a capital I, I'm going to write introduction. Please make sure that you are writing out the full word and not just intro. I don't really want to see intro written on anybody's work. It should be introduction. Okay, now what we're going to do is think about what we want to include in our introduction. So the sentence starter that I'm thinking of using is going to be the noun, because this is the first time I've spoken about what this is. So I'm going to use the sentence starter, the massaging mattress. So that's the sentence starter I'm going to use. Then I'm going to tell you who invented it. So then my next bullet point, and again, because this is a plan, this is why I'm doing bullet points. In your writing up on Friday, you will not be using bullet points. This is just because it's a plan, and bullet points make things easier for me to read. So if you want to use bullet points in your plan, you are more than welcome to, but please don't use them when you write up your non-chronological report. So the next bullet point is going to be who it's invented by. So I'm going to write invented by Miss Gossage. And then the last bit that we needed to include was just a little bit of information about it. So I'm going to say that this is to soothe aches and pains. So those are the 3 bits of information that I want to include in my introduction, and this is just to help me remember when I write it up on Friday. So please can you pause the video here and have a go at bullet pointing what you would like for you to include in your introduction. You're more than welcome to go back to our word mat to have a look at some interesting sentence starters, but please pause the video here to have a go at doing this part and then come back when you are ready. Okay, so the next part that we're going to plan is the what does it look like paragraph. Now in this paragraph, I want you to include the subheading, interesting sentence starters, a subordinate clause, and adjectives. Remember, we are describing what this looks like, so it would be silly of us not to include any adjectives. So if you want to use the power of three or expanded noun phrases, they should be used in this paragraph. So here is our word map of interesting sentence starters. And here is what we need when we write a subordinate clause. So it's the I saw a wubbub. We're going to use these to help us. So watch me as I plan my paragraph, and then you may go and plan your part of this paragraph. Okay, so let's share my book with you again. So the first thing I need to include is the what does it look like subheading. So because this is a new paragraph, I'm going to leave a line and then write on the next line. So our subheading is what does it look like? And this is a question, so you need to make sure you've got a question mark at the end and then underline it because it is a subheading, and subheadings and headings should stand out. Okay, so I'm going to start off with what subordinate clause I could use. So in my plan for my DT, it's 200 centimeters by 180 centimeters. So I think I'm going to include that because that's the size of it, and it should be included because that's what it looks like. But I'm going to use the subordinate clause although to explain that although it can be made in other sizes if you require. So bullet point, the mattress, and again, these are just notes, so don't worry about writing full sentences. The mattress size, 200 by 180. That's just to remind me for when I write it up in neat. Although, that's my subordinate clause, so I'm just going to highlight that so that you can see. Although it can be made smaller or larger. Now, when I write up my paragraph, I'm not going to be using this because this is just in note form to say smaller or larger. Then I'm going to use one of the sentence starters, which was the ending in ing, and I'm going to write thinking of comfort in mind. So that's my interesting sentence starter, and I'll highlight that for you so that you can see that quite clearly. I'll also highlight it in the introduction as well, so you can see that there too. Thinking of comfort in mind, and then at this point, I'm going to talk about the soft and cozy cotton cover, because it's covered in cotton. So that there is a power of 3. I will just quickly underline that for you so you can see that there. And then I'm also going to talk about and the use soft and cozy. I'm going to use and the squishy layer of foam. Now that's another adjective right there. And then when I write this up on Friday, I'm going to turn these into sentences. These are just notes at the moment. Then I'm going to think of another sentence starter, and I'm going to talk about the where sentence starter. So I'm going to write underneath. Oops, sorry, I wrote under wrong. Underneath the layer of foam. And there you go. There is another interesting way to start my sentence. And then I'm going to talk about how underneath the layer of foam, there are the rollers. And I'm going to write round plastic rollers. Now that there is an expanded noun phrase. And reliable electric motors. And again, that there is an expanded, is an expanded noun phrase. And then I'm going to finish off with a last bullet point because I'd like to have at least 4 things to talk about in this section. And I'm going to talk about the buttons that form part of the design because I think they look really nice. And I'm going to write amazingly as my sentence starter. And then for that last sentence, I'm going to talk about the beautiful, round buttons. But I'll turn that into a sentence in Friday's lesson. So I'll show you how to do that then. And again, that is an expanded noun phrase. So I'm just going to quickly read to you what I've got so far before you have a go at writing your what does it look like paragraph. So we've got the heading, the massaging mattress. We've got our picture of the massaging mattress. And remember, for these bits, you'll be doing your own invention. Then introduction. I've got the interesting sentence starter, which is the massaging mattress to introduce what this is. And then I'm going to say it's invented by Miss Gossage. So this may turn into one sentence. So the massaging mattress was invented by Miss Gossage. Or it could be 2. I'm going to have a think about that on Friday. And then the bit of information I'm going to include about my massaging mattress is that it soothes aches and pains, and that will be in my introduction. Then moving on to my what does it look like? I've used my subordinate conjunction here by saying that the mattress size is this size, although it can be made smaller or larger. Then I've got an interesting sentence starter saying thinking of comfort in mind. And then I've used lots of adjectives to describe the cotton cover and the layer of foam. Then I've used a where sentence starter to say under the layer of foam. And then I've spoken about the mechanics underneath and described what they look like. And then I've used another interesting sentence starter ending in ly, which is amazingly. And then I'm going to speak about the round, beautiful buttons. So please pause the video here to have a go at doing your what does it look like paragraph and come back to the video when you are ready. Okay, so we're going to be carrying on with the other sections tomorrow. You do not need to upload this piece of work to Tapestry just yet. I would say wait until you've finished your whole plan before you do. But please, please, please keep this safe because you are going to need it tomorrow and Friday. I'll see you next time, Gandhi class. Bye.